AWS Telco Network Builder, or TNB in short, is a new service which is designed to help communication service providers. In this video, we are going to have a quick overview of what exactly AWS Telco Network Builder service is, what it does, and how can we implement it. AWS Telco Network Builder is a brand new service which has recently been announced by AWS. Its primary aim is to help out communication service providers to deploy and manage public and private telco networks on AWS. It uses existing standards, practices, and data formats and makes it easier for communication service providers or CSPs to take advantage of the power, scale, and flexibility of AWS Cloud. AWS TNB provides CSPs with visibility into network operations across planning, deployment, and operations for network functions. AWS TNB makes use of Kubernetes and Amazon Elastic Kubernetes Service, or EKS, for packaging and deployment of containers. There are three primary steps as how AWS TNB works. As you can see in this diagram, this has been broadly divided into developers and operations. In the first step, developers build network functions and network service templates, and then when they build and deploy it, and then operation side of things kick in. Just to make this flow easier, this can be divided into three broad steps. The first step is the creation of function package for each network function by uploading a CSAR. CSAR stands for Cloud Service Archive. CSAR is simply a zip file which contains a VNFT, which is a reference to container images that hold network functions and any additional files needed to support and manage the network function. Once network function is created, the second step is to create a network package for the network by uploading a network service descriptor, or NSD in short. NSD is a specification of the compute, storage, networking, and location requirements for a set of network functions along with the information needed to assemble them to form a telco network. Finally, in the third step, you would need to specify deployment of the network function to the EKS cluster. Creating a network by selecting and instantiating an NSD is a step which should be doing as part of this. AWS Telco Network Builder, or TNB, begins to instantiate network behind the scenes. What it basically does is to create a service which creates an AWS CloudFormation template, then uses this template to create a stack and executes other tasks including Helm charts and custom scripts. When the instantiation step is complete, network is ready to go. Instantiating a network creates a deployment, and the same network with maybe your own parameters can be deployed more than once. So once you deploy this, or at the very first time when you start this telco network builder, you won't have any networks, you won't have any function packages or network packages, no CSAR and no NSD for that matter. So as a first step, before even you follow this flow, you need to have pure clarity about what exactly is network function, CSAR, NSD, and that is pretty much a domain knowledge from the telco side of things. There are some considerations which you need to take. If you don't have any telco network related data, like I mentioned CSAR or stuff like that, then you can get the sample data from free FGC.org. Another point to remember is that just like any other AWS service, you can access AWS TNB from console, CLI, or even from the SDK. The pricing for TNB is interesting. The pricing is based on the number of network functions that are managed by AWS TNB and on calls to the AWS TNB APIs. But the first 45,000 API requests per month in each AWS region is not charged. There are also additional charges for the AWS resources as created part of the deployment. So you need to be aware of that when you're running your own infrastructure. I hope that quick overview tutorial of AWS DNB was useful. If you have any comments or any thoughts, please put them in the comments. Thank you very much.